Here with reaction are Republican strategist Karen Hannity and former White House special counsel, Fox News contributor Lanny Davis. Lanny, welcome back.
Hi, Sean.
Safe School Czar, and by the way, this is his telling of the story, that a student, I believe a sophomore, came to him, said that he was meeting and having sex with strangers that he met at a bus stop, and he didn't report this. This was an adult. Didn't report it to anybody. His only advice was, well, I hope you're using a condom or smart enough to use a condom. Does that sound like a guy who has the appropriate credentials for Safe School Czar?
Well, he himself said that had he do it over again, then he mishandled that incident. But you're forgetting to mention what I think you agree with, is that he sponsored a White House conference against bullying based upon sexual orientation. And even you, Sean Hannity, as much as we may disagree, agree that bullying can be dangerous. It sometimes leads kids to suicide on this issue.
Thing. Lanny, that's not the point. You know what? There are a lot of good.
Well, that is the point.
There are a lot of good qualified people that were available for this job. Now, this is another area, Karen, where, you know what, he didn't have to go through the process because this was an appointment by the president. But if he's writing the books for the queering of elementary education and writing the forward for that book, if he has this controversial past and controversial views and basically admittedly wanted to say F you to the religious community, the conservative religious community, does he seem like the best choice for that job?
Look, this was a purely political appointment. This was President Obama trying to curry favor with a certain constituency within the Democratic Party that I think at the time he felt very weak with. But you know what strikes me is the level of intolerance that Mr. Jennings displays to people who don't agree with him. He demands, I think he would like to mandate tolerance from people at the federal level as opposed to letting school boards and local legislators and local attorneys general deal with bullying issues at a local level. He wants to mandate it at a federal level, and he wants to push a certain agenda that is far outside of mainstream America.
Where is the defamation, Lanny, considering all of this is on the record, all of this is provable? And he even admits in this exiting interview there were times in the fall of 2009 when I really went home and curled up in a ball in my bed and didn't want to get out of bed the next day. Now, does that sound like somebody that...
I think Mr.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry, I thought you were done with your question. First of all, this is historic that you and I at least can agree on this program on something, that his White House conference focusing on the problem of bullying, even among kids who have sexual orientation different from others, was a valuable contribution.
Bullying shouldn't be in schools, I agree, but that's not the point.
So we agree on that. On your question,
is there somebody better qualified than a guy that didn't have enough common sense to tell a young sophomore that's having sex with an adult, give him better advice than, oh, I hope you used a condom, or is writing the forward for the queering of elementary education? Are there better qualified people?
I don't think it's disqualifying. Therefore, I don't know whether they're better qualified people. I don't think it's disqualifying for someone who says he made a mistake 20 years ago that takes away from the accomplishment in the Obama White House. And by the way, Karen, I'm really shocked at political appointments. I know that never happened in a Republican administration.
Look, I don't know how you can defend this man. You can go out there and make apologies for something that he says he regretted 20 years ago. But he's also done a lot since then that he certainly doesn't regret. And the foreword that he wrote to this book, Queering Elementary Education, where he says that children are learning to hate every day in American elementary schools. Little children are learning to hate every day, and it is an indictment on teachers, it's an indictment on parents, it's an indictment on your pastors and your community neighbors that say if you do not agree with teaching as young as kindergarten homosexuality and what it means to be transgender and what it means to be bisexual, that you are therefore instilling hate in children. It's far more than that, Sean.
Well, let me give an example.
It goes deeper, but let's not forget, this is a man who wants to force sexuality, and I don't care if it's homosexuality or heterosexuality. We should not be forcing sexuality on kindergartners or on elementary school children, period. And that's his agenda.
Let me give a quote to back this up, because and Tony Perkins wrote about this. His research showed that in a 1997 speech, Jennings embraced the idea of actively promoting homosexuality. It goes on and on. Where he also, in an unsigned article on the Gleason website in 2000, declared the pursuit of safety and affirmation are one and the same goal. Now, you know, there's a big difference between stopping all bullying, which is a noble goal that I don't want to see any kids bullied in school, and the idea that you are affirming, or people, to kids especially, whose parents may have different values, a lifestyle that they disagree with, Lanny.
No, I agree that teachers should be neutral on the subject of sexual orientation. Any suggestion there should be promotion of one type of sexuality or not, I disagree with, and I think parents should feel that tolerance is a good thing, and it's not the same thing to say that he's preaching tolerance as opposed to promoting something. So I think Karen is mischaracterizing what he's asking.
If he writes the foreword for the queering of elementary education, is that not a troubling sign?
Queering is an agenda. Queering is an agenda in the educational system.
Well, I don't like the idea of advancing any particular agenda. I agree with you, Karen. I think he would say he favors tolerance and anti-bullying, and even got Sean Hannity to agree with the latter.
But not tolerance toward people who disagree with him, not tolerance towards
he should be.
people.
He should be tolerant.
He can claim all the success he wants.
I don't know
if he really wanted to stay there,
but he should be.
If he really wanted to stay there, he would have stayed. Couldn't take the heat, nor should he have been appointed in the first place. And you know what? Telling the truth about him obviously got a lot of people involved. Thanks so much, Lanny. Appreciate it. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, John.